Joe Sestak is making what his campaign says is an 18-mile walk from Wilkes-Barre to Scranton. So Joe Sestak has to be somewhere in the general vicinity. Joe Sestak, thanks for the call.
Good to be with you, Steve. Thanks.
Where are you, Joe?
I'm about 4.5 miles from downtown Scranton. So I've done about 14 miles.
You got a beautiful day, but I bet it's a little warm, huh?
It is warm. It's beautiful, though. You know, we kicked it off in Wilkes-Barre with a bunch of great supporters, did an event on small businesses and manufacturing, because as you know, Steve, manufacturing firms, 98% of them are small business, and yet we're only creating half the small businesses today per working adult that we did back in 1975. Imagine if we get small businesses growing again like they used to.
Now, do you have any idea exactly where you are? What kind of landmark can you give me?
Sure thing. I'm just passing Taylor's Professional Plaza. No, listen.
Okay, all right.
Let me give you exactly where. Beautiful church here. I've got Pat Toomey's tracker with me. He's always here, tracking every inch of my way. Say hi to them. Hi.
Hey, Toomey. Hey, Toomey's guy.
Hi.
Hey, Toomey's guy. Hey, it's Corbett.
I didn't want to say anything. Sorry.
Is that actually somebody walking with you who's from Toomey's campaign?
He's breathing hard, but he's trying to keep up. And what they do is wherever I go, Pat Toomey has this guy with a video camera tracking everywhere.
Wow,
it's pretty cool.
And you know he's from Toomey's campaign, huh?
Yeah, well, they have some outfit that supports and funds them. You know how it is.
Wow.
Anyway, that's boring. Let's talk about what I'm walking for.
No, Joe, hang on. I don't want you to run into a robocall here, okay? You're in our community. You're on the road. You're not on the interstate though. I think were you on 315?
I'm on Main Street. No, I'm on Main Street. And
do you know what town you're in?
I'm just entering Scranton, outskirts of it.
Okay.
And I'm passing Tom Albrecht and Son Collision Experts.
Okay,
the
now.
Garage right here.
Okay, now you are walking with supporters. Is that true?
Yep, we left with a bunch of supporters, about 15 or 16 of them. Then 4 of them kept walking, and one ended up walking about 7-8 miles with me. Matter of fact, I Facebooked it, and. But now I'm here by myself, and I'm meeting up a mile from the next event I'm going to do at about 5 o'clock in Scranton with a bunch of supporters about to walk that last mile of 18 with me.
Now, Joe, when you say supporters, what kind of people are you talking about? Are they representative of any political party? Are they elected officials, appointed officials? Are they people from your campaign? Who are your supporters?
Anybody who shows up.
Okay.
And we advertise this in the papers. I mean, that's how Pat Toomey and all found out about it, so they could have their tracker here. And we advertised it, put it all out to all the newspapers and media well ahead of time. Some put it in. So anybody who showed up, I consider a supporter.
Okay, so you're headed to Northern Light Espresso Bar and Cafe for your last stop and your last statement, right?
That's right, Steve. We'll walk that last mile there. If I get past the Doberman here, we'll walk that last mile with the people who show up, get in there, and I'll do another event on small business manufacturing infrastructure.
Now,
my book.
You've done like a 12-stop book tour discussing the issues in the book, Walking in Your Shoes to Restore the American Dream. What's the core, the essence of the book? What is it that you want to convey to people from that book that puts you on the road like this?
The first sentence says it all. The biggest deficit in America today is not the national debt, it's the trust deficit. Nobody trusts the parties, nobody trusts the establishment. So that whole book is really about saying, here's the policies that I stand for. Very explicit policy. Not a book where it says, hey, I grew up in a log cabin, now I'm ready to be president of the United States. It lays out specific policies in every one of those areas we just spoke about, and all the way through foreign policies. And so I want people to know why I'm running, for what policies, but I want them to hold me accountable for it. And that's why on page 17, it has my signature block that when someone gets the book, I sign it, and it says, this is my contract to hold me accountable for fulfilling these policies in office.
So when it comes to the resurgence of manufacturing, what can a U.S. Senator from Pennsylvania do to improve that, Joe?
Well, it's all about small business, because small business is 98% of all manufacturing firms. And so two things they need. Lift the regulation off them because it costs 40% more for a small business to handle regulation. Hey, how you doing? Someone just waved. It costs 40% more for a small business to handle the regulatory burden on them than a large business. And number two, get them the mother's milk, early funding to start up a small business. We've had banks cut back their small business loans by 15% during the recession. It hasn't come back. So that's why, and I have very specific ways to go about doing both of those and executing those.
Well, I've done that walk from Scranton to Wilkes-Barre, Joe, and I know that it's not an easy trek, but it's also a lot easier than putting your nose to the grindstone as a U.S. Senator and doing what you got to do to get Pennsylvanians working, get them a fair wage, get them where they need to be in terms of job opportunities and training, and I think that's a big piece of what you're trying to do as well.
See, you hit it on the head. But my track record in doing that is one that my first 2 years in Congress, I was called the most productive congressman in my class. 19 pieces of legislation passed, bipartisan, from the House, sent over to the Senate. Now, the Senate is broken. You and I know that. But those 19 pieces of legislation included funding for autism, the first in 12 years. It included investment capital that I just spoke about for small business. And it included the first Elder Abuse Act in 17 years to protect our seniors. So things can be done if you're willing not just to beat up on the other side, but do a principled compromise and bring things about. When you really have to get down to it, there's things that we also did, like the Affordable Care Act that got through. But I stood tall on that because I think it took care of Pennsylvanians, and I expect to do the same thing on the issues that matter to working families. And that's why I'm walking, not for Wall Street, not for Washington, D.C., not the establishment or party, but for people.
And is that ability, is it not that ability to compromise and to work with the other side when it comes to finding that common ground for business opportunities, business expansion, opportunities to develop new small and large businesses, the ability to work across that aisle we hear so much about in the best interest of business, which are always, when handled appropriately with a corporate conscience, always in the best interest of the people.
Without a question. Look, I represent a Republican district, Steve. When I ran the first time, it was about 56% Republican, 33% Democrat. When I ran my second race, I didn't spend any money to get reelected except $28,000 on yard signs to let me know. And I won by 20 points. If you're working with the other side, stick to your principles, but to a principle compromise, you can make it happen in the area that most matters to Pennsylvania. Quality jobs. And who produces them? Small businesses. And here's the real crux of the problem in Pennsylvania. You look back 35 years, Pennsylvania has had half the growth of small businesses that the nation has as an average overall. And therefore, our job creation in 35 years has been half the national average. That's why people leave, kids leave. The job opportunities twice as much elsewhere. That's why I focus on small businesses, because they're the ones who need the break from regulation. They're the ones that need access to the mother's milk funding to start up, grow jobs to keep the youth here.
So if somebody wants to hook up with you today, Joe, you're headed to Northern Light Espresso Bar and Cafe at 536 Spruce Street in the heart of downtown Scranton for a 4:30 meetup, and all are welcome, I imagine.
Everybody's welcome. And by the way, I think the official start might be probably it's 4:30. You're right. I'm meeting up with supporters to walk it from 4 to 4:30. So we'll probably start 5-10 minutes after 4:30. I'd love to have anybody listening there.
Well, you ought to, I don't know if you'll be able to get the mother's milk of the economy there, but you can get some skim milk in your latte, no doubt about it. Joe Sestak, good luck. Keep on going.
Steve, thanks for having me aboard.
Anytime. There he goes, Joe Sestak.